Calling all heroes. Hey there, superheroes! This is your host, Manny
and Justin.
Welcome to the React Cast. Superman. So last week, when the Superman trailer came out, we made a reaction to the same day. And if you guys haven't had a time...
It was a pretty good one.
If you guys haven't had a time to check it out, I'll go ahead and link it.
Please
you guys check it out. See how
it.
you guys like our reactions. If you guys are excited as we are, because holy crap, because I am all about this James Gunn movie. And I've seen some people that are talking about the suits for everybody. I think
Can
the
we
suit
get off
is
of
fantastic.
the suits, people?
Yeah, and I get it. Some people are like, oh, well, the suit, we're going to have to see it, and that's why, blah, blah, blah. But, again, suits can always change. And
the suit doesn't make the story.
Yeah. And I get it. Some of you really prefer it, but, and that's fine. How physical appearance is preference. If you guys wanted something else, cool.
Yeah, I agree.
But what if the story just ends up being amazing? Are you still going to... let the suit kind of ruin it for you? I don't know, right? So the suit can always be upgraded. You like the movie. I think if they hear enough about the suit, they'll come up with a way to kind of change it. They could honestly just be like, oh, that's just what he got from Krypton. Or somebody, so maybe Mom can't, sewed it up for him. And then they go ahead and change it after. Anyways, based on the trailer, I've got a theory of my own of what's going on in this
I can't
movie.
wait to hear him. Let's hear him.
Okay. All right, guys. So... keep in mind that James Gunn says, hey, this character of Superman and Clark Kent is drawing from all iterations of the comics that they've had, the movies of the past, including Zack Snyder's Man of Steel. There are some shots in here where he's flying, or the camera where during the action you're seeing the camera from their third person, right behind them. That's from Zack Snyder's Man of Steel shot. And then, animation. They're talking about Superman, the animated series, which has the best Lex Luthor to date.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and, so let's talk about Superman Birthright. And in Birthright, it is all about Lex turning the media on Superman.
Ooh.
So he is talking about, Superman being this evil alien, and he's the first of many aliens. He's going to lead to threats coming to Earth.
That's awesome.
That's actually putting their lives at stake. And there are some shots in that trailer where people are hating on Superman, and I wonder if that's the case, right?
Throwing things that hit him in the head. I still remember that.
You have to understand, this is a universe already. I know we've heard it, and James Gunn has said it multiple times, but you really have to put it in your head. This universe already exists. Superman already knows everybody already knows Superman.
Right.
Everybody already knows each other. You saw that with the Terrifics, which I think in this movie is going to be Mr. Terrific, Hawk Girl. I almost said Hawk 2 girl. Hawk Girl. You got
Green
Guy
Lantern,
Gardner.
I believe. Or is that who that is?
Yeah, Guy Gardner, Green Lantern. So, and they're all wearing the same uniform.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they are the Terrifics, and they are working with the U.S. government. They know about the superhero.
Ooh, okay.
Okay? And so I think Luthor is working with the government, and he's trying to change the government and be like, okay, this guy's a threat.
Yeah.
This guy's a threat. And so he's...
shut him down.
And so he's created, I think he probably made a clone of him to where you have the Ultraman. Ooh. You have the engineer who's in this movie, and James Gunn even had a post. He's like, the engineer is in the trailer, but she's up in the sky. So that made me think, okay, what if where that beginning is, where Superman's, kicked down, that he's bleeding? I think that's because of the engineer may have, used kryptonite or something that Luthor gave him.
Yeah.
And they're fighting.
Wow.
And so he lands there, and then Crypto takes him away to the Fortress of Solitude, which the engineer observes where they're going. Because there is a shot of them all entering the Fortress of Solitude, I think. Yeah. And then it goes on from there. But I think the way this movie's going to go...
If it doesn't go that way, you need to make that movie. Because I just watched that in my head, and it went great.
No. I 100% trust James Gunn.
Absolutely.
One of the best... I'll say it again, as I said in that trailer reaction, I can't think of a bad James Gunn movie.
No.
Especially when it comes to comic book
I definitely
movies.
couldn't make a better one myself, so thank you, James.
Exactly. So I think that's going to somehow lead to them discovering the Fortress of Solitude. It doesn't have to happen like with them just because, why would Superman be dumb enough to be like, oh, someone's watching me, and they do that. But maybe that was an engineer just warning Superman, hey, if you don't join us, then you're against us, type of deal, right? So it wasn't necessarily to beat up Superman trying to beat him. It was more so to show him who's really the power there. And then eventually, I think, with the kaiju part where he's burning, people are blaming him because, again, that kaiju is probably attacking because Superman exists. And it's sent by, again, Lex Luthor. And seeing that he's flying around and everything, you saw Lex Luthor is trying all these different methods.
Yeah.
Because that's what Lex does in Birthright. That's what he does in all of these other properties.
Right.
Lex Luthor is not just like, oh, I'm just going to do this. No, he has plans to make Superman look bad, and worse. And that's what I think is going here. Kaiju attacks, kryptonite attacks, turning the government on him, turning the public on Superman. Everything is just an accumulation until Superman becomes the Superman we know. And I think that part right there, where we're talking about like he's with Lois Lane at the end, where a lot of people were, where that still images coming up, because you think about it in this movie, so you do have Metamorpho, and then you also have Lex Luthor, and if you guys remember, there's a scene where Mr. Terrific is fighting against Luthor Corp soldiers, where they're wearing the iconic purple and green suits, and they're attacking him. And I wonder that's where like Mr. Terrific is probably going to be the first one to turn on Superman's side and be like, okay, maybe this guy is not bad after all, right? Because, again, James Gunn said even though he's a side character, he's going to be one of the primary characters. So he's going to be more than just a side character. He's going to be the heart of the side characters.
Right.
And so I think at that point is when that thing with a spear, with the, everyone thought, is that Brainiac? What is that in the background?
Oh, right.
It doesn't seem to be hurting people. But I think it's probably Luthor searching for Superman, and he's creating some challenge. Hey, like, Superman, show us blah, 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 blah. And honestly, he's probably talking to Lois Lane and being like, people hate me. People don't seem to like me. What, maybe it is a good idea. Like, why should I go out there and try to help? Not like question why he should help people, but rather be like, I don't know what Luthor wants. And she probably talks to him. She's, show the people who Superman is, that hope.
Yeah.
And he goes out there, and then you're going to have the confrontation between him and the engineer. Because, again, James Gunn has said Lex Luthor is definitely the villain of the movie. The engineer is going to be basically the fighter for the antithesis to the Superman strength. And she's going to be a big bad until probably the very end, where she's going to go ahead and have a realization of, okay, Lex Luthor is not the guy you can trust. That's just my theory on that.
That's a heck of a breakdown right there.
Because I think, Superman, everything he's shown us in that trailer, I don't suspect any of that to be past the first half of the movie. Just because it's building the tension.
Yeah.
And usually if you want to show the later half, that's when the tension is at climax and then climbing down, right? So
right.
Everything in that trailer seemed like the tension was going up like this. And whenever it's going up like this, it's usually before the climax. So it's got to be in the first half, I believe. But whatever you guys think of that trailer, that breakdown, whatever your theories are, make sure you leave it in the comment section down below.
Get a like for me.
Help. Yeah, leave a like. And with that, you guys, we are going to go ahead and close this episode up. Again, thank you for joining us every week if you've been doing so. If you're new to the channel, thank you for checking us out.
Welcome.
Please don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button.
Please.
And leave a comment, because it really does help us out with the YouTube algorithm. We are on our way to hitting that 500 before we can turn that 500 to 5,000.
And then into a million, baby.
There you go, right? Eventually. But
we're coming.
And don't forget to hit that post notification bell so you know whenever we have our uploads. But remember, guys, the main thing of this entire existence of this channel is to stop the hate
and spread the love.
We'll see you guys next time.